So we are all together, and let's wait a few seconds just to have all the participants inside of the broadcast. And today we are all together here. Raman, you welcome, and Shlomo, Mr. President, and our President-elect Thomas, and Honorary Treasurer Joseph Buleseka are all together with us in this We Talk. So let me give some information in a few minutes' time. WONCA Europe introduces We Talk, WONCA Europe Talk, but also We Talk, a short talk show-like program where a person of interest is interviewed, and I will be the host of this small talk show. We know that there are 4 president-elect candidates for World Executive, so we thought altogether that it would be nice to start with those who are willing to meet you, the European members, and later we may have other guests and other interesting actual topics in origin idea. But this is a kind of informal one, so which is nice to be drinking your teas, and as you see, my cup is here also. Raman is probably at home right now. So in the first We Talk, we are very happy to be with Raman, who is a well-known colleague. And he represented all young family physicians on the executive board of WONCA World from 2013 to 2016, as you know. And he continues to be on the WONCA World Executive Committee as the regional president of WONCA South Asia. We worked with him almost 2 years, wonderfully, in World Executive Board, and now WONCA Europe President, dear Professor Shlomo Winka, is working with him with a pleasure. Now, Raman is one of the candidates of WONCA World Presidency, President-elect position. He was recently featured on the cover of the Lancet, which is a prestigious journal, as a global primary health care leader. At present, he is practicing also as a full-time family doctor. He has published more than 100 research papers and interacting with the educational programs, including many keynotes he made in many conferences also. But I would encourage you to visit his page in WONCA World, which was perfectly presented in that page. And in your website also there are other details for more information. Because our aim is not a long introduction, as it is already done in websites and properly in WONCA World, but linking you, our member organizations in Europe, with Raman for easily asking questions, if any, you would like to ask. Is with us. So before starting, I would like to announce to all of you and to remind Raman also that the duration of each answer is not more than 5 minutes. Otherwise, I will sadly interrupt my friend and guest, because our purpose is to give the opportunities to our members to ask as much as they can in a short, very short period. And please ask your questions from the question and answer section on the right side of your screen. You may upvote existing questions. We will prioritize questions with the highest votes as time allows. So let's start with a question, Raman. Raman, are you comfortable right now?
I'm good, Mehmet. Thank you. And I would like to thank WONCA Europe for inviting me here on this We Talk, WONCA Europe Talk. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for participating. It's very important for the European member organizations to know you, although they know your face. They might have some ideas or asking questions. That's a good opportunity for every member organizations who would like to vote for their own president-elect. So I can start with a question to you. The first question can be something like that. The WONCA Global, which you are inside of the executive board, has set its priorities with the WHO and similar international agencies and high-level political entities. That is surely good for the member organizations. But sometimes it is worded as being far away from the real world by practicing GP members in our region. They feel not in. That is a feedback from some. How do you think that this is relevant with the daily practice of a general practitioner, family doctor? How to make WONCA relevant to the ordinary general practitioner? How you will touch them? This is 5 minutes question.
Thank you, Mehmet, for raising this very pertinent question and issue, which is relevant to not just Europe, but also rest of the world also, because ordinary family doctors, general practitioners, family physicians want to be benefited from any global engagement, and not just educational, but also in terms of their advancement of profession, their professional development, and at times there is a gap on what we do at global level and how it is translated to the benefits to the individual, and most important, to benefit to the community we serve in general. To my understanding, individual family doctors, family physicians, general practitioners are one of the most important stakeholders to what we do globally, because we represent them at a global level wherever we go, whichever forum we go, be it WHO, World Economic Forum. There are many others in different parts of the world regions, and we engage with them on behalf of our family doctors. And we say that we represent more than 500,000 family doctors across world, and we all work in different situations, different conditions, different political systems, and different levels of economic activities and support systems. So it's important that what the desire and the need and the aspirations of family doctors in the individual member organizations are taken from bottom to upwards. I mean, their responses, their aspirations are also reflected in the global organizations of our policy development or policy articulations and policy matters that we take forward at global level. What I feel, for individual family doctors, it is important that we talk about their identities, their position in the health systems, their educational aspirations, professional development, their community support system, financial support, and political support. All this is important aspirations of individual family doctors. And to be able to attain them, it is important that as family doctors, we are informed, we are educated on those matters, and we are given opportunity to participate. And, and through participation, through a large network of doctors or physicians, family doctors, we can create evidence or synthesis evidence. And this evidence can be articulated as policy, peace, policy directives, which can, and more robust is our system in terms of talking from ground to the top, or from top to bottom, is more effective way of developing, taking forward our agenda of family medicine and primary health care. So
Thank you, Raman. This is a good overview of the really, because those questions are being asked for many years, and everywhere where I went to visit, this was repeated. So this is a good way of answering, I think, and you will touch them by this way for sure. Shlomo, dear President, would you like to ask any question to Raman?
Yes, thank you, Mehmet. And good evening, everybody. At least in Israel, it's evening. I presume that in India, it's something like midnight.
it's 10:40 p.m.
Okay, quite late. So thank you. First of all, I want to thank Burak, our IT man that organized all this. He's the man that behind this successful evening. I want to thank also Mehmet for the initiative. And as you see, we are relaxed, we are unofficial, no ties, no jackets, just as possible as relaxed. And I want to ask you, Raman, in your program, you include WONCA Academy. Can you explain what and how you really want to create and who is the target?
Right. So I have talked about WONCA Academy basically to take forward. We are already in existence, and this is 50th year of WONCA World. And we have been doing various activities in our working party on education. We have standards, postgraduate standards, undergraduate standards, CPD standards. We have been doing accreditation programs in different parts of the world, and some work is still underway. It is work in progress on that. And by talking about WONCA Academy, I wish to take the whole idea of academics on a global level, on a next level. And by doing so, if I talk in practical terminology, we do a lot of activities in different parts of the world by member organizations, by our regional conferences, our global events. And especially in the context and after the COVID pandemic, there is a lot of digitalization of the events and a lot of archiving of the events. A lot more webinars and digital platforms are being consumed, used, and there is more acceptance for this format of academic activities. And even if we archive what we do globally, there's a lot of content that can be useful for member organizations and individual family practitioners, family doctors. And if we are able to provide a platform to our member organizations, to our family doctors, for the existing content that we already have, that is a huge treasure that can be utilized if we organize that in form of accredited programs, training programs. And this can not just be, in terms of academics, but also in terms of leadership development, in terms of practice development, professional development, entrepreneurship, innovations, and there are many ways to channelize our existing efforts, taking forward and supporting our member organizations and family doctors globally.
Thank you. I think that one of the important things is that most of the material is in English. For us here on the stage, it's quite regular to read, to talk, to listen to English. But I think that one of the challenges is to increase accessibility of those materials to countries, to family doctors that are not so well qualified in English.
So I was looking at the languages, and 4 or 5 major languages that are spoken or used in different parts of the world are Spanish, English, Portuguese, French, Arabic. And apart from that, we have around 60, 70 odd international languages which are used in different parts of the world. And I think when we curate those activities, academic activities, which we already have through our member organizations globally, we still will have, good academic programs in different languages if we are able to, bring them together in a purposeful manner. And
Thank
I
you.
understand. I totally support your idea of doing the programs in different languages, not just English or Spanish, but all the languages that we have.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's very good. That's very good. Sometimes we question why it's only Spanish as an alternative to English. So, Thomas, you are with us, right? Our president-elect. Yeah. Thomas, would you like to ask a question? Yeah, please.
Uh, as we, move forward with the uh, a century of WONCA existence, global, I'm talking about, uh, we have seen growth of WONCA in different parts of the world. It's different level of growth that we see, different situations, different contexts for family physicians, for member organizations, and there is context and relevance to each region, each member organizations. And I was looking through member organizations in different parts of the world, and I see we all have our unique health systems, unique economic situations, unique status of family doctors, and WONCA as a global body need to contextualize all this. It is more easier than before because of the availability of the technology and the processes and its uses than it was, say 2 years back or 5 years back. It is much easier, even if you talk in terms of language, it is language translations much easier than it was before, and it can be done in a very short period of time. Similarly, digital connectivity has become much better than it used to be before. So now, at least in terms of digitalization, in terms of technology availability, there is some even ground in different parts of the world, and we can leverage on those uh, technological advancements, availabilities, and we can forge a better collaboration, not only between global WONCA and the regions, but also among the different regions of the world. For example, we had a very interactive session between South Asia and Africa, and we, recently I had a discussion with academic discussion with Mexico, and they all spoke in Spanish language, where I did not know any word of Spanish, and they did not know any languages of India. But I was surprised that they translated many of their content into Hindi language, which we use in Hindi text. So this was not possible, even 5 years back, 2 years back, and this is much easy to, communicate in a better. So if you can communicate between Mexico, India, Mexico, Brazil, India, Africa, or I'm just giving examples. What I mean to say, it is much easier now, it's much cheaper now, and we need not to travel across world to do those things. And through this status, we should leverage and move forward the whole family medicine primary care movement globally.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, something that we have learned in the last 2 years is we are using more and more the virtual platforms like we do now, like we are at home all together and chatting. So I think there are good opportunities for that. Joseph, do you have any questions? That I see some questions from the question and answers section from very important member organizations. I know that there are very good names from the WONCA Europe history and also current very active members. So I value that if you can find a few of them for us from the question and answer section. Your word is yes, please. Just muted. You are muted. Muted.
Sorry. Yes. Oh, technology is always bothering. I was saying first, thank you very much, Mehmet. And second, I was saying namaste to Raman. I discovered in India, Nepal, and that namaste is the way to say hello, goodbye, and everything. Welcome in those countries. So namaste. And there's a first question that has been voted. It says, WONCA office recently moved to Europe. What do you think about this? Both from financial and your ability to work together with the office?
I think it's a very good move in my understanding, because now we are in process of registering a non-profit in Switzerland, and our secretariat has moved to Brussels. And this is a very good thing, considering that WONCA is a global organization. And by being in Europe, it's easier to interact with the global, not only global healthcare organization, but other international organization of interest for us. And if you look at my program, I have talked about permanency in the organizational structure of WONCA World, which means, I would support a permanent secretariat for WONCA, and a better place is Europe, Brussels, Switzerland, wherever feasible. But we should have a permanent secretariat, because earlier we had in Australia, then we moved to Bangkok, Singapore, and now in Brussels. This is a good place because, in my understanding, Europe is the home of general practice. If you look historically, and this is the place where we can do all our advocacy, organizational activities seamlessly across the world, with all infrastructure available, networks available. So it's a good move.
Thank you very much for your response. Now, a practical issue for the audience. You can ask your questions to Raman by using the questions and answers button. If you look at the screen, top right, next to the chat, there is a button, Q&A, so you can write your questions there and raise your questions to Raman and to the full audience. We have another question, and the question I'm reading: you have always supported young family doctors. How do you plan to continue your support? What is your program about them? Junior doctors.
So one of the important aspects of, if you look at my program, I have talked about WONCA Innovation Center. And globally, we need to reinvent what we talk about: family practice, general practice, primary care. Because traditionally, our discipline is a very stable discipline. We don't see much of progress, in small cycles. And it is time, because the whole humanity is changing because of the environment, because of the situations, because of the pandemic. And it is important that we bring in our younger doctors to do changes, innovations into practices, maybe things we have not imagined yet. And it's time that we give more of our responsibilities to young doctors globally. I'm glad that since I represented young doctors at WONCA World Executive, this movement has grown globally. All our 7 regions have our good programs. I see them holding regular interactive activities. They are more digital recently, knowledge transmission, knowledge exchange programs. I hope this will more become face-to-face in future. And to be able to support that, with not just in terms of co-opting them, but also enabling them as true leaders. And if I'm elected as WONCA president, this would be a very strong message to all young doctors, because if you look at the movers and shakers of the world, it's like people like Mark Zuckerberg. They're not old people. It's not old school. It's the newer generation of the people who are changing the world. So we need to align with what is happening globally in other sector of life, and not just family medicine. And we need to advance with that. And we need to take the energy, enthusiasm, and creativity of the younger generation to grow WONCA globally.
Excellent. Very encouraging words for young doctors. What I wonder if I am still young or not. What is the cutoff for the youth? But anyway, encouraging words. Thank you very much. And let's move to a completely different question that now relates to the planet. What is your view on planetary health?
So I come from a civilization.
It means planetary health means regarding to those topics who affects the planet, the Earth, and that can impact in human health, such as air pollution, such as recycling, such as deforestation in the Amazon forest, and whatsoever. I believe that in India you have also problems regarding to waste, regarding to the use of fuel, regarding to climate change, regarding to all these topics. Those topics, when we are destroying the earth, destroying the planet, destroying the forests, then we are altering humans' health, and also we are putting at risk the entire humanity of disappearing. If we destroy our planet, we will destroy humanity. So this is a very relevant topic that has been more and more up to date, and that probably will impact also in the education of students in the near future. So what is your opinion, or what is your view on planetary health, and what will you do as a president of WONCA, in case you are elected, regarding to planetary health? What will be your actions?
So, as I was starting to say, that I come from a civilization where we have great respect for the nature, nature, earth. Uh, in our culture and our civilization, every part of whether it's living or non-living, it's considered as living, and it is considered bad to destroy anything, be it living, non-living, rivers, forests, trees. It's bad. It's considered very bad. And coming to the contemporary discussions which we hear globally, it's very, very important that we, as professionals, we support to protect environment globally, because this is something which is truly global concern. I mean, we cannot be keeping ourselves safe if some part of the earth is flooding, or there is fire in forest, or global warming. This is something which impacts all of us, whether we are aware of it, whether we are not aware of it. It is impacting us, not just us, but future of all of us. It's not about races, it's not about continents, it's not about countries. All of us will be impacted in our future generations, and all of us are seeing the changes that are happening already. So, as global organization, as if I'm elected as president, I would definitely support planetary health initiatives in all forms, in advocacy forms, in education programs, in our practice settings, and in our community engagement. Whatever form we can, advance this idea, I would support that.
Thank you very much, Joseph. I think we have more questions, but can I just stop here, because I saw that very, very good colleagues are, and also Raman's colleagues are asking very good questions. But I think we don't have enough time right now. But that shows us that there are a lot of interest to ask those questions to the candidates of the WONCA World Presidency. Thank you. If I will stop here the questions, because it's almost, we have 1 minute to stop here. And for example, there are questions, Raman, you don't need to answer right now, from serious organizations about the migration of the doctors inside of Europe, but also all around the world. They are migrating, and the power of the general practice is really changing from poor countries, or maybe low-income countries, to the high-income countries, which is also considered as a real problem for many countries, like I know in Europe. So this is a kind of thing which is a feedback to you right now from there, and also the WHO and such kind of entity relations should be also a good hot topic, as you say, and you already answered those questions. I will try to give those questions to you, and for those people who are really interested in, and maybe we can find a way of making a kind of common platform to answer those kind of questions which we collected. I will forward all of them to you. Sorry if I cannot give you more floor, because this is the idea that it should be half an hour to let the people sleep, and also you have to rest also. First of all, I would really very much like to thank you that you are giving your time and energy to answer to the member organizations in Europe, and although you have a deep difference in between the time, and as Shlomo says, this is very important for us that you are together with us, and our colleagues appreciate, and we really wish you luck. On the other hand, what I would like to remind you all attenders that next week on 2nd of November, again with our colleague Raman, me, Shlomo, all work with her, Associate Professor Viviana Martinez Bianchi, also the current executive board member at WHO Liaison. She's a candidate for World President-elect, and she will be with us. She's from the USA and a lovely Latino. We hope to host other candidates for the WONCA World Executive Committee in the coming days and introduce them to the WONCA Europe regional organizations and link them if they are willing to meet Europe. We are open to everyone who would like to contact to us, and this is not only for the elections issue, but for many hot issues. We are open to those people who would like to talk to the Europe very short time period. Good luck, Raman. Thank you for attending, and good night.
Good luck.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you for me having here. Bye bye.